Welcome back, everybody, to the OPT Network. This morning, we're talking about the strongest storm to hit Louisiana since 1856, more than 150 years. It reached us as a Category 4, just only 7 miles from being a Category 5, and boy, did it do damage. Many people are still awaiting power, and joining us to talk about the incredible job that Cleco has done in restoring power is Franchesca Phoenix. She is communications strategist at Cleco. Fran, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you, Carlette, for having us on the show.
Absolutely. And I vacillate from calling you Fran to Francesca. Fran and I have been friends and sorority sisters for many, many years. And I know a lot of people are still saying, where is my power? But there were a lot of outages. And I have to say, Cleco has been amazing. Let's talk about, Fran, what goes into getting people restored, because there's so many parishes that were out without power.
Right. I'll start off by giving you an update on where we are at.
Okay.
I run the numbers daily. We send out 4 news releases per day. And at 8 a.m. this morning, we had we ran the numbers and then I ran them again for you for 10. So we're at 96% of customers restored and 134,275 customers have power we've restored, and we have about 5,725 customers that are still without power. So 96%, and we have about 4% left. And Carlette, most of those customers are in the hardest hit parishes, which would be Beauregard, Calcasieu, Rapides, and Vernon. And we've made significant progress in Rapides and Grant. They're nearly 100% restored, but Beauregard and Calcasieu, they still have a lot of work to do there. The damage there is more, those parishes are on the southwest portion side of the state. So they really, there was just a lot of damage there. And the restoration there is not just restoration, it's a rebuild and then restore. So they're having to rebuild parts of our transmission and distribution system in Beauregard and Calcasieu Parish.
So, Fran, take us back to when we were awaiting the storm and everybody was watching weather reports, and we knew that the storm was going to hit central Louisiana hard. What was the think tank like at Cleco preparing for the impending outages and the damage possibly to the entire system?
So, Carla, we prepare for storms year round. Hurricane season is different. It started in June, it ends in November. We're not caught off guard by hurricanes. August is typically the month when we see the most activity. We have a what we call a storm boss. He's our manager. He manages. We call him the storm boss. His name is James Last. If I talk to him so many times during the day, so what happens is we have storm teams, and Cleco has about 1,500 employees, and most all of those employees are assigned to a team. I'm on the corporate communication slash public relations team. So, in addition to my regular duties, when we have a storm approaching or pending, we shift, and you start doing your storm duties, and then there are people behind the scenes who still work, but their storm assignment is to do the regular job, because even though we're in a storm, we still have to run the business. And all our service territory did not get impacted by this storm. Most of it did. We serve about 288,000 customers. About at the height of the storm, we estimate 140,000 customers lost power. So that's basically half of our customer base. But the storm really did not impact the eastern side of our district, which is near New Orleans, the North Shore areas. We have St. Tammany Parish. We have a lot of customers over there. They didn't get the brunt of this. They got Katrina back in, many
Right.
years ago.
Hmm.
So this is kind of like the Katrina for Sin Law, except we don't have the water damage, but did we not? I mean, the wind speeds were horrendous. So prior to a storm, we go on different alert levels, and the storm boss will start sending us emails because we subscribe to weather services, and they are constantly sending us updates about. Okay, the storm is here. This is the path it looks like it will take. And we get these updates all throughout the day when there's a storm in the Gulf. And then we start preparing based on the track that we're being told this storm may take, and it could change. And so when our storm boss moves us to level 1, that means, okay, we need to get prepared. We need to start looking for resources because we have native line mechanics in each of our districts, because we have 3 districts. There's the Eastern District, which is the St. Tammany area. Then there is the Southern District, which is the Acadiana, that's New Iberia,
Sure.
St. Mary, St. Martin parishes. And then there is the Northern District, which encompasses everything else like Central Louisiana, Mansfield, Manny, DeRidder, DeQuincy, those areas. And so you start getting additional resources because you know you're going to need contractors to help when you have a category 4 storm looming in on you that was almost a category 5. Even Katrina wasn't that.
Right.
So we start securing resources before the storm comes in. That's a big part of the job. Logistics. You have to have lodging for your crews. You have to feed them. They have to have their laundry done. I mean, we're on day 13 of this storm restoration. So imagine all these people that have come here, this personnel. We have approximately a little over 4,000 people working, and that includes about 500 Cleco employees, and then support people who are doing the logistics. And then you have vegetation specialists. They're the ones trimming the trees because that has to be done before you can even start doing power line repairs, putting up poles or anything. And then you have the actual line crews. So we prep before, and then we move through the alert levels as the storm approaches. Then when the storm actually comes ashore, makes landfall, we hunker down and we're in, taking shelter, because if the winds are really, really high, like if they're over 45 miles per hour, it's unsafe for the linemen and vegetation specialists to work. So when the winds subside, then we go to work, and we start by doing damage assessments.
Wow.
After the damage assessments, then we make sure our transmission and distribution lines are working, and then we go to work restoring power.
So, Fran, talk about all of the people who have come into central Louisiana. And there's so much support, but there's still people who are sadly still waiting for power. Some people have been out 7, 8 days. How do you work to assure those people that everything that Cleco can do, they are doing?
Right. It gets tough when you're like you said, in based on where we are time frame wise, but based on 140,000 being without, and we're at nearly 100%. We feel like we have given this our all. At the same time, we
Sure.
want to tell our customers, thank you for your patience and understanding. I had one customer tell me she didn't know she could be so emotional about electricity. We really power life. We do. It's essential, and you sometimes don't realize it until you don't have it. But
Absolutely.
this is what I try to have been telling our customers, and I've been doing this for a long time. I've seen a lot of storms. This is probably the worst storm in Cleco's 85-year history, not necessarily in terms of restoration time, but in terms of damage. When the transmission system is damaged heavily, that's a big problem because you can't get anybody power until the transmission system is repaired.
What does that
Those are
mean
the
to us who are laymen? What does that mean?
Okay. So you have a power plant. If you've ever, the closest power plant to you, Carlette, would be what we call the Brain Energy Center.
Hmm.
And it houses 3 units. And one of those units is Madison 3. And there's 2 other units there. Madison 3 is the newest unit there. And so the power comes from the plant, and then it goes on these high voltage transmission lines. These are the lines you don't see in your neighborhood. They're out, farther out, like by the plant, which is in Boyce near Lena. So you'll see a long corridor of poles, and the lines are really, really high in very remote areas. Those are transmission lines. And so the power travels from the power plant over the transmission lines, and then it goes to substations because it has to be broken down to a lower level for safety
Hmm.
reasons. Then it goes to distribution lines, and then it breaks down even further into distribution substations. So there's a transmission substation, and then there's a distribution. The distribution substations are some of the ones you see in your neighborhood. You not like in on your street, but
Sure,
on a major highway you
sure.
may see. I think the closest one would be where the old radio station used to be, KBCE. They have
Right.
a substation out there. Right.
And
So
so I
that
guess, friend, we never really think about the process of electricity before it actually gets to us as the
right.
consumer.
It's a process. It takes, it's electricity is dangerous when not handled carefully and correctly. So all of that equipment allows us to serve our customers, homes and businesses safely. So once it comes out of the distribution substation and then on the primary lines, it's ready. And then it goes through the transformer, that you'll see on your neighborhood, in your neighborhoods. And that's where the power comes from. So it
Absolutely.
starts from the power plant and it travels down. It's broken down to lower levels, and then it's distributed to the customers. And Carlette, the way we restore power, we restore power to our critical facilities first. That's hospitals,
Sure.
nursing homes, water systems, and then we get the majority or the most customers on in the fastest time that we can. And then we start working the individual neighborhood from one to the next.
Before we've got to let you go, Fran, in this new week approaching, what do you want people to know about Cleco and the work and the damage going forward? What do we want people to know and understand? Because I think by and large, even though many people were just frustrated from a lack of no power, just because we're all spoiled and we never really understood how much we appreciated our lights and our air and all of the things that we didn't have until we didn't have them. What do you want people to know and to understand?
Well, we want people to understand that we work. No, I've been working nonstop every day before the storm, and we'll work until the last customer has power. This is what we do. We have so many men who are dedicated. They leave their families to come. I've seen them
Hmm.
go through water. They need special equipment to get to some of the areas. Cleco serves a lot of rural areas. This was a devastating storm. Unfortunately, to me, it didn't get the national media coverage
No,
that
it
you would
didn't.
think it should have.
Hmm.
I've seen homes demolished, and so while we work to get the power restored, we just appreciate our customers for we've gotten so many there have been so many acts of kindness and messages. We appreciate that. That goes a long way. And the linemen are dedicated. I've never seen a group of employees or workers that they go through so much. It's the humidity and the temperatures here are extreme, but Louisiana is strong and it's at its best. I've seen so many acts of kindness, as I said, and communities coming together. And we'll get through this together, just like we're
Sure,
doing with the pandemic.
sure.
And every customer is important and everybody is a priority to Clico. And that's what we do. So, I know it's rough right now. Hang in there. We're almost
We're
there.
almost there. But I
We're
don't want to
almost
leave
at the
this
finish line.
conversation, Fran, without talking about generator safety. And I know you've got to run, but we need to have a whole segment on, especially since we're still in hurricane season, about generators. We heard about families who perished in this storm, not because of the storm, but because of improper generator use.
Right. That is so true, Carlette. We've heard about some of those reports. Clico's website at clico.com, we always promote that, you know, if there's a power outage and you use a generator, you have to use it safely. You should never, ever operate a generator in a closed area. It should always be in an open, well-vented area outside of your home, not in your garage. Ever. That's just a big no-no. Every time there is a storm, we promote generator safety, or we try to educate our customers and the public about generators and using them safely. It's something that we won't stop preaching and teaching on. I'll give you just a quick rundown.
Sure.
Don't plug a generator cord directly into a wall outlet. A generator can backfeed electricity through your electric wiring to the entire Cleco circuit. Those are the generators that customers have wired into their homes. Because a portable one, you usually, you know, you just it's portable. But then there is the other type. So the point is, when you're using either, you really have to read the manufacturer's direction. That sometimes we just, you know, you're in a hurry, you get things and you just think you know how to use them. No, don't ever take a chance when it comes to electricity. Make sure you read the directions. If you ever have questions, you can always call our call center at 1-800-622-6537 or go to cleco.com. Or you can go to our Facebook page. Carlette, we've been putting a lot of restoration estimates for customers on our Facebook page. We always put safety messages out every day on our Facebook page. And generator safety is key, but staying away from a down power line is also very important.
Fran,
Never assume that
thank
a
you
line is
so
not
much.
energized.
Thank you so
Okay.
much for all of the work and the countless hours that I know that you have put in, as well as the entire Cleco team and all of the power and the line team and the vegetation teams that have come from near and far to make sure that we are restored and safe. Our guest this morning, Franchesca Phoenix. She is the communication strategist at Cleco, connecting Louisiana's future. Fran, thank you so much.
Thank you, Carlette, and thank you for what you and your team do to get these important messages out to our customers and the general public.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody, stay on point. We're back right after this.